Hey y'all, you'll have to excuse me, but my allergies are absolutely going nuts today. So if I sound a little rough, it's uh, it's because of that. It's always those morning. I don't know why the mornings have to be so bad, but the mornings for a little while just can suck. Anyway, let's jump into it. So this popped up in my feed, and I just decided to listen to it. I haven't subscribed to this. I don't know who the heck Dr. Melvin Bobson is, but I'm listening to it. And if you ever see me show a screenshot where I'm showing the little red line here, it's because something interesting was said at that point. And you might need to back it up 5 minutes, like go to 21 minutes and listen to what they're talking about, but I stopped it and took a screenshot at that point because like, oh, that's worth listening to again. That's worth commenting on. But that's now it's I've listened to like two-thirds of this thing, and I don't even remember what he said right now off the top of my head back at 26 minutes. But for whatever reason, I screenshotted that moment. Thought, oh, that's worth maybe talking about. Now, if I were a real channel interested in your education, information, or entertainment, I might actually edit this, play a little clip, drop a link, all that kind of good stuff. But I'm not, because I just talk off the top of my head. But here's a pro tip for you. If you ever want to find the video that I'm talking about, all you got to do is go to your search bar and just type in like the first few words there, just as they are in the title, and it'll pop right up for you too, just the same way it did for me. No problem. Real easy to do. Anyway, for some reason, about two-thirds of the way in, as this guy's talking about reality and how much it relates to or seems like software in a computer program or a game, I thought, with the Mandela effect, what if, and I've thought this before, it's not like the first time I'm thinking about it, but what if what we experienced, like as a large group, we experienced, a lot of people all were talking about this mid 2015, 2016, 2017. Huge amounts of people were like, what the hell is going on? There's, how does anybody not see this? I mean, that was my feeling when I was seeing what was happening is like even if you didn't experience the change in real time, just seeing, magic mirror on the wall, how does not everybody, is that not a slap in the face, wake up? That was our feelings. Like, this is just crazy. So I got to think, what if there was this cyber attack on our system, our game, or let's say whatever the studio's name was, that we had a disgruntled employee who decided to throw a little wrench into the program and stir everything up. And then all of these technicians or programmers or whatever the heck you call them are in the background just scrambling to write updates and patches. We're just trying to fix the program because it's falling apart, and all these little Sims down there are starting to notice it, and they're walking. We'd be from an overview shot. We walking around our little sim here with like little confused like question marks and exclamation marks above our head bubbles. Our thought bubbles would be like, what just happened here? I just imagine like a reality getting attacked and by some sort of malware, and these people are scrambling to fix it and stabilize the simulation, and we're just bumbling around saying, "Oh my God, this just changed. Hillary Clinton's supposed to have one L in her name." It's stuff like that. I mean, it's so stupid, but my channel is not about trying to explain it. It's just documenting my experience. It's a journal entry. And for those who have experienced the same things, it might be even considered a comfort. Who knows? But, this definitely is just me rambling early morning, talking about my experience. I was thinking about how, like, when things are really tossed up in the air, and things, I'm not seeing glitches nearly as often around me. It's not on my radar as much. I mean, it's been a while since a few months since I've had anything that I could point to as a real glitch. But glitches still occur. Here it is, 2026, and Now that I'm talking about it, this is how it usually works. Now that I'm talking about it, just when I say, "Oh, I haven't seen a glitch in a long time," within a day there'll be a glitch. I mean, it's almost like it's guided. Like here, I bring it up, and then the glitch happens. But we'll see. Who knows? Happened so many times though. So back in the real aggressive days where the reality was trying to patch itself and get stabilized, we used to get online and talk about this as a group, as a community. We were always uploading, like, oh my God, did you see the Roman numeral 4 is changed on clocks? Remember how we just all get stirred up, and that was the theme of the week, the skeletal structure of the body, the holes in the skull. I mean, all these weird things. People are like, that's totally new to me. This is brand new. How can I have lived 50 years on this planet, fairly educated, fairly high IQ by national testing standards, and how do I not know this? I should know this. This should be abundantly clear to me. I should have known this. That kind of thing. This it's new to me was always being, coughed up like this. There's no way. Or even better, maybe you had a hardcore memory, like an anchor memory, something in your past that you did that there's no way reality could have been that way back then. If for you to have that memory, for you to have that evidence, maybe a sketch in a notebook, whatever, you've got something that links it so hardcore that there's just no way that it could have always been that way. So there's lots of examples of this, lots of, I've documented thousands, I think. Speaking of which, I've been watching The Office again. I've watched through all, it's something to watch in the evening with the wife. So we're watching The Office again. And I remember the first time we were watching The Office, I thought, damn, there's a lot of Mandela effects. And I used to call them out. I used to take little snippets and say, oh, this is in The Office of the old reality. This is residue. And I'm watching it again. I'm like, man, there's even more I'm noticing than I did the first time. It's like constantly throwing Mandela effects, like solid Mandela effects out there, it's really funny when you go back and watch it and think about how, like, it's almost like this show was built just to put Mandela effects back in our face again, or put what the old reality was with little hints. But if you were not well versed, like, I should have a degree. I should have a doctorate in Mandela effects with how much I've researched it and have just tracked them and made my notes. I should have a doctorate, but some sort of honorary doctorate. Anyway, the Office just is full of Mandela effects. That being said, I was thinking about how we as a community were uploading and tracking. I remember how you would check YouTube every day, and maybe Reddit, started getting to Reddit a little bit, but I'd check every day the word Mandela effects. Any video new that had anything to do with a reality glitch or Mandela effect, I was guaranteed watching it. I was spending at least 8 hours a day researching this. How I got anything else done during those days, I have no idea. How I kept, just don't know how I kept it all together, because I was consuming and I was obsessed with figuring out what other people were saying. So every day I kind of knew what the trend was, what the community was talking about. And you all remember this. Remember the Lambda A's? The Samsung was one of the most popular ones that was looked at. But all of these logos with the letter A seem to be switching over to a lambda symbol, which is just that upside down V. And, and of course, when that thing changed from that moment in time backwards, in reality, they'd always been a lambda symbol in their logo. It's not like they'd ever used to have a normal A. It was always that way. And we were like saying, what the heck's with this lambda? Of course, Jesus is coming back any minute. Well, of course you'd say, well, lambda, Jesus is the Lamb of God. It's therefore a wink saying the Lamb of God is coming. We could grab at all these little hints and get all stirred up. But during that Lambda time, when we were all talking about Samsung and the Lambda, and that was real popular and a lot of uploads right at that month or whatever, this is what happened to me. I'll give you my story. And I talk about these personal Mandela effects or personal reality glitches and how often they were tied to whatever was real popular in the community and what was something I was looking at, whatever. But so during those days when the Lambda was the big topic for that moment, I would drive to work every day. Went to the same place for 5 years. And when I'm driving in, there was this stoplight where I had to sit. It was always a long light. It was always like, oh, gotta just wait for this light to turn. And right there at that big intersection, I'd look across and there was this insurance company. In the insurance company's office, it was just like one of those little offices, in the, where they're always advertising the cheapest insurance. I think they'd say from $32 a month, whatever. So there was this insurance company called Amax, and their logo was so clean and simple. It was just, think of Arial font, bold, Arial font, red letters, white background. It just said A, capital A, dash, MAX, just caps. All it was just very clean and simple. And I'm driving during that Lambda period with the community and everybody talking about the Lambda. And I'm driving there and I'm looking at that, business, and I'm thinking, well, there's a nice clean A. It doesn't have that Lambda bullshit. It's just clean, solid, Arial, red lettering, white background, solid, capital A, dash max. I mean, it's the perfect example of the way the A's are remembered, the way the Samsung A had been remembered, all that stuff, right? So I don't know exactly when. A little time passed, not much. So let's say 6 weeks. It was something short. So a little time passes. I'm driving to work one day, and I look up at that business, and what the hell? It's a Lambda. The A has changed. It's now a Lambda A. With the exception, there was this tiny little upside down triangle on the left side, the left leg of the A, which was like right there, kind of offset just a tad, just to kind of indicate this is where the line used to be. Okay, that's the only difference, is that that Lambda A had that little upside down triangle kind of right off into the left leg. If you get you can look it up. But solid capital A had changed to a Lambda A. Here's the glitch, though, or the hybridized, like whoever is writing the patch for this reality to make sure everything cleanly optimizes and explains itself. For whatever reason, they left the old A still in this reality, but not at that particular store. So there were still old stores in this reality that had the old capital letter A still on their sign. But the store that I drove by every single day, that one received the reality update. Now, I say reality update and not physical update because I could tell. I drove into the parking lot, examined the sign. I was like, there is no way this is a brand new sign. There's no way. It shows signs of age. I'm a facility guy. I know, I can look and see the tells. So there's no way that this sign has just changed in the last 6 weeks. This is not a brand new sign. I took it a step further, walked into the business, talked to them, and I said, I just want to confirm that big sign you have out there, you haven't recently changed it or changed your logo look or anything. No. And then I had to explain what I was asking, and I explained the Mandela effect and my experiences. And the two people I was, talking to, they seemed to be pretty interested in what I was saying. They were young, and they, kind of fascinated by it, heard of the Mandela effect, that sort of thing. So anyway, I confirmed that this sign wasn't physically changed in our reality, that it just, for me and my reality, this business that I knew and had an anchor that was a solid capital A, changed. And in this version of reality I found myself, the people that worked there were telling me, no, it's been like that for years. I've worked here for years. Nothing's changed. And that's how this kind of thing works. It's the mechanics behind it. Don't know. I did just, did I move from reality A to reality B? Or did this reality get edited? Were these people even real, or were they NPCs? All of these questions just naturally come up. But the big